You wake up with the feeling that something just happened. There was a place, a person, a danger, maybe a message. For 2 seconds, it feels important. And then it is gone. You try to hold it. You close your eyes. You reach for the last image. A room, a face, a road, a sentence someone said. But the more you try to remember, the faster it disappears. And within a few seconds, all that remains is the strange feeling that you were just somewhere else. Somewhere real. Somewhere impossible. Somewhere your brain built for you in the dark. The strange part is not that dreams disappear. The strange part is that they can feel more real than real life and still leave almost nothing behind. You can wake up from fear with your heart racing. You can wake up from love and still feel the warmth of someone who was never there. You can wake up from a place that does not exist and miss it. Then the alarm rings, the room returns, the ceiling returns, your body returns, and the dream dies before breakfast. This is not just about dreams. It is about memory, consciousness, and the strange fact that your brain can build an entire world at night, then refuse to save it in the morning. Because a dream is not a video file. It is not automatically stored. It is not waiting in a folder somewhere inside your head. A dream is more like smoke in a room. While you are inside it, it surrounds you. But the moment the door opens, it begins to disappear. And waking up is that door. Every night, your brain moves through different stages of sleep. Some deeper, some lighter, some closer to waking life. And during this cycle, the mind begins to generate experiences, images, voices, places, stories. Sometimes they are simple. Sometimes they are emotional. Sometimes they are so strange that no waking person would ever write them. Most of the dreams people remember come from REM sleep. That is the stage where the brain becomes strangely active. The eyes move rapidly beneath the eyelids. The body is mostly still, and the mind can become vivid, emotional, visual, bizarre. But dreaming does not belong only to REM. People can report dreamlike experiences from other stages of sleep too. They are often less vivid, less emotional, more like thoughts, less like movies. But they are still part of the sleeping mind. So the first mistake is thinking, if I do not remember my dreams, maybe I did not dream. You probably did. You just did not catch them. Because having a dream and remembering a dream are not the same thing. A dream needs more than experience. It needs transfer. It needs the sleeping mind to hand something to the waking mind. And that handoff is fragile. Imagine a bridge between two worlds. On one side is the dreaming brain, loose, emotional, associative, untethered from the outside world. On the other side is the waking brain, organized, verbal, alert, busy becoming you again. For a dream to survive, something has to cross that bridge, and most dreams do not. They collapse on the way. That is why the moment of waking matters so much. If you wake up during the right part of the sleep cycle, the dream may still be close. You can feel it. You can almost see it. But if you wake up later, or move too quickly, or grab your phone, or think about work, or hear the alarm, the waking world rushes in, and the dream loses the fight. This may be why the first few seconds after waking feels so strange. For a brief moment, two worlds overlap. You are in your bedroom, but part of you is still in the dream. You know where you are, but you also remember being somewhere else. Then the real world gets louder. Light enters. Sound enters. Language returns. Your name returns. Your schedule returns. And the dream becomes homeless. It has nowhere to live. Some dreams survive because they are caught quickly. You wake up and say, "I need to remember this." You repeat it. You write it down. You tell someone. You give the dream a shape before it dissolves. But most dreams do not get that chance. They vanish before they become words. And this is important. Because memory is not just storage. Memory is translation. To remember something, your brain often has to turn experience into a form your waking self can use. A sentence, an image, a story, a location, a feeling attached to a name. But dreams are slippery. They do not always follow waking logic. A person can be your friend and a stranger at the same time. A house can be your childhood home even though it looks nothing like it. A hallway can lead to an ocean. A dead person can speak normally. You can be yourself and not yourself. Inside the dream, this feels natural. But once you wake up, the waking brain asks, "What was that?" And sometimes there is no clean answer. So the dream breaks apart. Not because it meant nothing, but because it was not built in the language of waking memory. This is also why some dreams stay. Not all of them, just a few. A nightmare from childhood, a dream about falling, a person you lost, a place you keep returning to. A dream so emotional that it still feels alive years later. Maybe the dreams that survive are not always the most logical ones. Maybe they are the ones your brain marked as emotionally loud. Fear can make a memory louder. Desire can make a memory louder. Grief can make a memory louder. Novelty can make a memory louder. A dream may be forgotten because it was quiet, or remembered because something inside it shouted. This is where dreams become personal, because everyone has a few dream fragments that feel strangely permanent. A staircase, a room, a face, a city that does not exist, a childhood place that your brain keeps rebuilding wrong, a person who appears in your dreams years after leaving your life. And when you remember those dreams, they do not feel like random noise. They feel like evidence. Evidence that something inside you is still working when you are gone. During the day, you believe you are one continuous person. You have a name, a body, a schedule, a memory of yesterday, a story about who you are. But every night, that story loosens. Your brain becomes a world maker. It creates places you have never visited, people you have never met, versions of yourself that disappear before morning. And for a while, you believe them. You believe the dream world while you are inside it. You run, you hide, you search, you love, you lose. You speak to people who are not there. You become afraid of things that cannot exist. And then you wake up and call it unreal. But for the sleeping brain, it was real enough. That is one of the strangest things about consciousness. Reality is not only what happens outside you. Reality is also what the brain can convince itself is happening. At night, with the body still and the outside world mostly shut away, the brain keeps generating life. It does not stop being human. It keeps remembering, predicting, fearing, wanting, combining fragments, testing emotions, rearranging the past, inventing scenes no one will ever see. And almost all of it disappears. Now, this does not mean every dream has a secret message. It does not mean every dream is prophecy. It does not mean every dream is your unconscious trying to warn you. But it also does not mean dreams are meaningless. The truth is more complicated. A dream can be memory, emotion, fear, desire, noise, prediction, a fragment of yesterday, a face from 10 years ago, a place that never existed, a problem your brain never finished solving, a feeling looking for an image. The brain is not simply playing a movie. It is stitching together a world. And sometimes that world says something real, even if the story makes no sense. This is why dream science has to be careful. It is tempting to say dreams are messages. It is also tempting to say dreams are garbage. But the mind is rarely that simple. Sometimes a dream may reflect something you care about. Sometimes it may reflect something you fear. Sometimes it may be the brain sorting through emotional residue. Sometimes it may be strange because the sleeping brain is operating under different rules. And sometimes it may be nothing you can translate. There is even a stranger possibility. Forgetting dreams may not be only a failure. Some research suggests that during REM sleep, the brain may also be involved in forgetting certain information. In animal studies, scientists have found cells active during REM sleep that may help prevent some memories from being stored. This does not prove that your brain deletes human dreams on purpose, but it opens an unsettling possibility. Maybe the sleeping brain is not only creating worlds, maybe it is also deciding which worlds are not worth keeping. And if that is true, forgetting dreams may not be a glitch. It may be part of the system. Because imagine if you remembered every dream clearly, every nightmare, every impossible conversation, every false memory, every strange version of every person you know, every world your brain created while disconnected from reality. Maybe waking life would become crowded. Maybe the mind needs borders. Maybe forgetting is one way the brain protects the story of who you are. Because memory is not just about keeping the past, it is also about deciding what does not become part of you. And dreams sit at the edge of that decision. Some cross over. Most do not. The ones that cross become stories. The ones that vanish become feelings. And the rest disappear into the dark. That is why waking from a dream can feel so sad. Not because the dream was necessarily important, but because you briefly touched how much of your inner life never becomes memory. How much happens inside you and leaves no record. During the day, you think of yourself as the part you can remember. Your childhood, your choices, your habits, your opinions, your plans. But every night, there is a hidden life. A life of images, fears, fragments, strange places, almost persons. Emotions without explanation. And by morning, most of it is gone. Maybe that is what makes dreams feel so mysterious. Not that they come from another world, but that they reveal how many worlds your brain can make, and how few of them you get to keep. You do not remember your life perfectly. You remember the version your brain could afford to save, and dreams may be the clearest proof of that. Because every morning, you wake up from a world that was real enough to feel, but not stable enough to stay. Maybe dreams disappear because they were never meant to become memories. Maybe they are not messages from another world. Maybe they are proof that another world is already inside you. A world your brain builds in darkness. A world you visit every night. A world that can make you afraid, make you grieve, make you love, make you search for someone who was never there and then vanish before the light reaches the room. That is the echo. Ancient body, modern world. And somewhere between sleep and waking, there is a human mind building entire lives, then letting them go. If this felt strangely familiar, subscribe. There is a lot more hidden inside the human mind than we remember.